Hi there. So I am going to talk to you about declawing your cats and why it's a terrible thing to do. In the past, people thought that declawing was just taking the fingertips or the tips of the fingernails off of the cats, and that is not correct. When you declaw your cat, you are doing the equivalent of snipping the tip of your finger off under your first knuckle. That is the equivalent of declawing a cat. If you took a look at the pictures on this video, you will see that you're actually cutting into bone and tendons when you're cutting this cat's claw. And while you might say, well, they wake up and, they're feeling okay. No. How would you like it if your fingertips were gone when you woke up? And suddenly you have no fingertips. You can't pick things up. First of all, it's going to hurt. And it's going to hurt for a little while. I mean, it's not like, somebody gave you a manicure and just clipped your nails. No, it sawed your bone, your finger. It's like you're in a horror movie or something. And then, after your nails are gone, after your fingertips are gone, picking up food and doing day-to-day things that you normally would do, like scratching, might be difficult, or this might sound kind of gross, but wiping your butt when you go to the bathroom, Cats do these same things. They scratch in their litter box. They use their paws and claws to scratch in their litter box to move their litter around. It's very important that they do that. It's part of their function, their bodily function. They paw at the ground. They scratch at the ground to bury their food. They go outside and they dig for reasons. They stretch. They hook their claws and they stretch their hands. And this is why I have iffy feelings about the caps that you can put on cats' claws. I mean, they stretch their fingers, and you go and you know how you stretch your fingers and you crack your knuckles and you push on your fingertips to stretch your whole finger? Well, they stretch their hands, their claws and paws and arms and everything by that. And they also defend themselves with their claws, especially their back claws. Their front claws, they get some action in there, but if an animal rolls them over on their back, say their house cat gets outside and it's been declawed, and dogs are notorious for rolling a cat over on its back and attacking a cat. How is the cat going to defend itself? They usually defend themselves with their back claws open and out, scratching at that animal. That's where their most power comes from, is their back claws. And they scratch at the animal's face. How are they going to do that if you have declawed them? They can't even defend themselves. So the first alternative is to get a cap that you put over the claw. The cap is dull. Well, there's 3 alternatives actually. The cap is dull, pretty colors. You tack it on with non-toxic glue, and the caps are non-toxic. There's only one company that I know of, and you need to get it from the source. I'll put the link below. You need to get it from the source of, these caps, but you have to replace them every 6 weeks, so it's a tedious thing if you want to protect your furniture. The other thing is to clip your cat's nails, and you got to be really careful when doing that, because there is the bloodline that if you clip it too close, the cat could bleed out. So you need to really be careful when you clip your cat's nails. And still, that takes away from the scratching, kind of like the tips do. I mean, that's my own opinion. It takes away from the stretching, being able to grab onto something and stretch. They could probably do that without those tips of their nail, without the sharp tips of their nails. But the other option is to get a scratching pole And then protect the areas of your furniture that your cats are going to scratch. I've seen double-sided tape sold for this purpose, and I've seen things that you can put onto your furniture that's kind of slippery. One thing that we did that our cats absolutely love, we put a partition from an office in the house, and they climb it, they sit on top of it. It's like a scratching pole. They love scratching poles everywhere. They can sit on top of it and climb down and climb up. I would never declaw my cat. Please never declaw your cats. Cats love scratching poles, and they love to climb. So a scratching pole with a carpet, or the rope, they have ones with rope, they have ones with carpet, they have some with cardboard, and they can crawl up them and sit on top and do cat things that they love doing. That's one option. You could protect your furniture with double-sided tape, or with this sort of plastic that kind of coats around the furniture and the cats can't grab onto it. Anything is better than declawing your cat. I mean, look at the pictures. Would you want that to happen? I heard a question the other day, how old should a cat be to be declawed? Never. Would you take your child and cut the tips of his fingers off because you didn't want him to claw at your face while you're feeding him? Because, babies sometimes have really sharp nails, and then you cut their nails, but sometimes, they get out there and they claw at you because they're babies. They don't know any better yet. Cats learn, too. They can learn. You could teach them to not claw at the thing. I spray water at mine. Some people think that's mean. I don't think it's mean. If my cat's clawing something else and I don't want them to claw that specific thing, I will spray water at it. Not a lot, just enough because they hate water. And they jump away and they don't do it anymore. That is way more humane than declawing a cat. So think about, going to the website and checking it out. There's a few more articles. Sometimes I add more articles of what declawing does to a cat. And before you think about even doing something like this, read the articles and check it out. And think about getting a scratching post and some of the other things that are available. If you're going to have a cat, and part of a cat is how its behavior is. They're not just cute little things to hold. They have behaviors. Be sure to check out the website and check out the reasons why you don't want your cat declawed. The humane thing to do is to not declaw your cat.